my friends, welcome back to another video. As you can tell from the title, we are going to be talking about products from Sephora collection brand. I'm super excited to try this out. I actually haven't been in store to a Sephora in a long time. I don't have a Sephora really close by to where I live. There is one, but it's inside a JCPenney, and half the time they don't have any of the products. So I had the chance to go to Sephora with some girlfriends yesterday and went in and picked up a few things. The highlight of today's video, what we're going to be talking about, is the ever so popular Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. You might have seen this around on social media, as well as the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealers. This would be my first time trying out any complexion products from the Sephora collection brand, so I am really excited for that. Pricing wise, they are really affordable. So let's start off with the foundation. As I said, this is the Best Skin Ever foundation. It is meant to be long wear, perfect natural finish, and anti-pollution. The bottle is glass. We have a pump, which is great, and it is 25 milliliters or 0.84 fluid ounces. Most foundations come in a 1 fluid ounce bottle, so it's interesting that this one is not quite 1 fluid ounce. It is $20, and I don't remember exactly how many shades there are, but if I remember correctly, there's a pretty decent shade range, so I'll include that information somewhere here on the screen. Let's get a little bit about this foundation. So it says here, it is a medium buildable coverage for the look of naturally perfected skin, enriched with algae extracts and hyaluronic acid, provides anti-pollution benefits and 24-hour hydration. That's good to know. Clinically proven to reduce signs of stress and fatigue. I don't know about that, but we will see. It is non-comedogenic and dermatologist tested, and the bottle is made of 30% recycled glass. It is made in France and has a 12-month shelf life. I picked up the shade 25.5Y. So there it is right there. And this shade, when we get into the demo portion, you'll see this is more of my summer shade. We'll talk about that a bit more when we get into the demo portion. And I also picked up the concealers as well. The concealers are $15 each. I'll put the shade range somewhere here on the screen. I picked up 2 shades. The first shade I picked up is 23.5P, which has a pink undertone. I picked this up more as a corrector shade. You'll see there it's quite pinky, based off of watching Rose from Rose and Ben on Instagram use it. And the concealer is meant to be full coverage, multi-use concealer, natural finish, long wear, and anti-pollution. It says here it's a blendable liquid cream, weightless feel, 24-hour hydration, retouch and conceal all over the face, also non-comedogenic, dermatologically tested, and also produced with 30% certified recycle content. The other shade that I picked up for my actual concealer shade is the shade 21.5Y. So you'll see we've got this really good size doe foot applicator. It's got more of a yellow undertone, which is my skin tone. So we are going to be putting both these 2 shades to the test. I do have the products on right now. I've had them on for a bit more than an hour or so at this point. So stick around to the end of the video to hear my final thoughts, and let's roll right into the demo portion. I'm going to go ahead and use a primer that I am familiar with. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer. It's long wear foundation grip, prep, smooths, and perfects primer. I'm actually almost out of this, so we're going to go ahead and apply. I feel like whenever I sit down to film, or the day that I'm planning to film, is when I wake up and my face decides to break out, which is really annoying because I always come on here with my face bright red and breakouts, and I feel like, oh, why is it on just the days that I decide to film? Okay, we're gonna have that sit, and let's dive into the foundation and the concealers is what we're gonna be working with today. I had picked up the shade 25.5Y for yellow undertones. And I know right off the bat, this is gonna be just a smidge too deep for me probably, but the next yellow undertone shade, lighter, I felt was a little too light. So I figured I'd just pick up the 25.5 and then I can mix in some of my, my LA Girl mixing pigments in white to lighten up the shade. And I have my LA Girl foundation mixing pigment just in case. I'm gonna give it a good shake. I should probably move my hair out of the way, and I'm gonna pump out about that much. I'm gonna apply it in sections. It's a bit of a thicker consistency. You can see it's not liquidy or runny. And we're gonna start right here. Oh, actually that might not be too deep at all. I've got my mirror on this side, which is why I'm looking here. I have my handheld as well. And we're just gonna go right in. My face is lighter than the rest of my body, so this is gonna work, I think. Doesn't really have a scent. Okay, so there we have this side of the face. I blend it in. I wanna say that looks really nice. I can't feel it on my skin, which is nice. It's blending in beautifully. It's not like sitting on top of my skin. You know how some foundations just look like it's sitting? This one looks like it's sunk right in. It's not clinging to any of my acne scars or dry patches. I usually get dry patches around where I have like breakouts, but this is not doing that. I would say it's giving me about a medium coverage right now, not full coverage, but I'm pretty sure we can build this up. You can also see, well, at least I can see that yellow undertone, which is what I was looking for. Sometimes I notice with certain foundations and certain brands that even though it's noted as like a yellow or warm or golden undertone, which I can usually do any of those three, it doesn't pull the yellow. I don't know if you can tell, but I have pretty obvious yellow undertones, golden undertones. And so it's important for me to find a foundation that really matches those undertones. I feel like I just said undertone 50 million times. Let's go ahead and apply to the other side. So again, I'm gonna take, I would say that was about half a pump. And we're gonna go in small sections. I like the consistency of it as well. All right, we have both sides done. Again, it's giving me medium coverage. I did about a half pump on this side of the face, and I would say also about a half pump on the other side. So overall, 1 pump for that first layer, medium coverage. I think I want to build up a little bit more coverage in this area, just where I'm having those breakouts and redness. So I'm going to pump out about 1/4 of a pump and just see if I can build up some more coverage. Overall, I do usually go for a more medium coverage, medium to buildable. I like to have that option to go to full coverage, but I don't mind a little bit of my acne scars peeking through. My biggest concern is looking cakey when I layer too much foundation or full coverage matte foundation. Okay, so we used up the entire 1/4 pump on there, and I would say this is a really nice medium coverage that I'm liking. Again, it's looking like skin. It just sunk right in. I will say it's clinging a little bit right here. I didn't exfoliate this week like I'm supposed to, so it's clinging just a little bit, but a lot of times I'll notice what happens with foundations that have a formula similar to this, or at least from what I can tell, is, you know, by the time I go in with my powder products, it's had time to melt in with my skin and that goes away. So we'll just keep an eye on that. So I'm just gonna follow through with my regular order of makeup application. Usually after I do my foundation, I'll go in with my cream bronzer before I do my concealer. I'm gonna be using my favorite, this is nothing new, e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Honey, what is this, Honey Drip. You can see I've already hit pan on it. It is one of my favorites, and I'm gonna place this little higher up than the hollow of my cheek. I have a whole video on this product if you are interested to check it out. We've got the cream bronzer on. I just did a bit because I do go back in with a powder bronzer anyway, so this just helps that powder bronzer last longer, and I am extra. I like to apply multiple products, so I probably could have skipped this step, but whatever, we're here. So let's go in next with the concealer. This is the shade 23.5P. It's got a pink undertone, and I picked this one up off of the recommendation of Rose from Rose and Ben on Instagram. She's used the shade quite a few times on her Instagram stories, and it is a nice peachy pink corrector shade. So I'll show you guys. That is the shade right here. So obviously not going to use that as a concealer, but as you can see, I do have dark under eye circles, more purple undertone, so this can help neutralize. And then the shade that I picked up for an actual concealer is I picked up the shade 21.5Y. Again, yellow undertones. We have a doe foot applicator, and I'll go ahead and swatch the shade right here. So those are the two shades we're going to be using today. I'm going to take my Anissa angled concealer brush and actually just pick up a little bit from that corrector shade off of the back of my hand and press that in first. I'll just show you guys, I picked up most of what was on the back of my hand, and I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but I definitely can see how that's neutralized the purple a bit, not completely obviously, but definitely I'm seeing a difference. I'm going to take a bit more, and I'm just going to put it on the back of my hand to help me control how much I actually apply. Again, with that Anissa angled concealer brush. This is my favorite concealer brush. If you are looking for a concealer brush, I highly recommend this one. Okay, there we go. I love how that's correcting. I also have the LA Girl concealer in the orangey corrector shade, but I think I'm liking this one more. Look at that. Wow. I mean, obviously it's not like a full coverage concealer moment, but that is a huge difference to what it was before. I definitely agree with the weightless feel of it. Obviously, we only applied a little bit of this shade as a corrector. It does feel hydrating. I'm not noticing any dryness, and I'm not noticing any creasing, guys. Usually by now, if I haven't set it, anything I put under my eyes does crease. I have fine lines and wrinkles under my eyes. So far, so good. Okay, so let's take the actual concealer shade that we're gonna use and apply that. Again, I have the shade 21.5 yellow. I think I'm gonna do the same application method where I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand and pick it up with the same brush from there. And just press that in. I just found my new favorite way to apply concealer. I'm wanting a little bit more coverage, so I'm gonna put a little bit more on the back of my hand. I'm really liking this application method, guys. I feel like I'm using less product, and this shade is perfect for me. Did take me a minute to decide my shade. I swatched at least 5 or 6 different shades before I settled on this one. So with this shade, I am getting a little bit of creasing, but very minimal. That's to be expected. I have fine lines and wrinkles under my eyes, so every single concealer is gonna crease. That's just the way of life, and I have no issue with it. It's normal. Most people have creasing under their eyes, get creasing under their eyes, or have fine lines, so whatever, it is what it is. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Definitely a medium coverage. I could probably build it up more if I wanted to, but I'm not going for anything crazy per se today in terms of makeup, so we're gonna keep it as is. Next step before I set my under eyes would be my cream blush. If I am using cream blush, on that particular day. So this is my Real Techniques 405 brush. It's the Instapop Cheek brush, and we're gonna start back here for a more lifted application. I add probably a lot of unnecessary steps to my makeup routine, but I like to do it. And this is a really pretty pink, neutral pink shade. So let's take a look and see how that's meshing with the concealer. Perfect. I don't see any disruption. I don't see it pick up anything or acting weird. Ooh, this is exciting. So far, so good. We're gonna go ahead and set, and I'm gonna use my Laura Mercier translucent powder, you know, tried and true. So I'm gonna pick that up on a damp sponge. It's pretty dry. When I say damp, it's not that damp. And this is the LC Velvet Sponge. You guys know this one is my favorite, and I'm gonna press that powder into the sponge and press it in. Pretty. Okay, there we go. And you'll notice when I do my concealers, I don't go super light. Not a huge fan of it being like super bright under my eye. I know some people are, and if that's you, you do you. That's fine. I like it to be a little bit more matched to my foundation shade. If anything, I'll brighten it with the powder. There we go. So I'm gonna let that powder sit for a minute before I dust it off. I guess the slightest amount of baking, I would say. I just leave it to sit there. The powder went on top beautifully. It still looks smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup, and then we will come back. We'll talk about my final thoughts and see how everything else layered on top. We're back with the final look. I don't know what possessed me to do a red lip today, but we did. I went with a softer look overall, something really easy, and then decided to play with this new lipstick that I got from Influencers Vox Box. This is the YSL Rouge Couture, the bold lipstick in the shade 1971, and I really like it actually. Red lipsticks are always a bit hard for me to apply, you know, defining your lip line and all of that. But anyway, let's get back into the details of these complexion products from Sephora collection that we are testing out today. I would say I've had the products on the foundation for at least 45 minutes or so, probably about an hour. And I layered my powder products on top. I set my face, obviously, powder bronzer, blush, highlight, and my pressed setting powder. I will say that area that I mentioned that it was clinging, this dry patch right here, has now gone away. So like I said, some foundations just take a bit to sink into your skin, and this foundation definitely did that. Moving forward through fall and winter, as I kind of lose my tan, I guess you could say, I'll definitely be needing to mix it with some of this mixing pigment to continue using it. But the good thing is this mixing pigment does not alter the formula of the foundation, of any foundation that you mix it with. So that will save me 20 bucks in terms of buying a new shade. The concealer is looking great after setting it. I'm not getting any excessive creasing or any more creasing than I typically do. If anything, I'm seeing a little less compared to other foundations. Overall, I'm gonna say so far these are a win. I am surprised. I've never tried any complexion product from the Sephora collection. I have tried some of their brushes and some of their eyeliners. I'm actually wearing one of their eyeliners today, and this product was just really hyped up. I saw a lot of people on social media talking about them, and I think I even heard someone mention, or a couple of people mention, that the concealer is a dupe for the Dior concealer. So I mean, I haven't tried the Dior concealer, but if it is, a score. Now let me know in the comments below if you guys have tried this product. What do you guys think? How does this shade look? How is it looking to you guys on camera? And whether or not you guys are thinking to pick this up. It's about 1 p.m.-ish, I think, right now. And so I'll wear it as long as I possibly can and then update you guys in the comments. Thank you for joining me for this video. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that before you leave. I'd really appreciate it. Like this video if you enjoy watching this type of content. There's so many new complexion products coming out, and I'm trying to really hone in on the ones that interest me. I recently did a review on the Makeup Revolution IRL in Real Life Filter Foundation, which I loved. The NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and the Makeup Forever HD Skin, as well as a couple others. So there's definitely been multiple complexion foundation product reviews this year, so feel free to check those out on my channel. And with that being said, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.